Hi everyone, it's me again, and I'm going to review another piece in my collection. What we have here today is a relatively common 37 by 223mm rimmed cartridge. This was used in the 37mm M3 gun in World War II and Korea. It's a relatively powerful cartridge, however, it was originally designed to be an anti-tank gun, and it was fairly unsuccessful in that role. In Europe, even at the beginning of the war, these 37mm had problems penetrating armor on the Panzer III tanks, and especially the mid and end of the war, when America had joined in, this was completely obsolescence in terms of anti-armor in the European theater, mind you. However, this proved to be quite effective against the Japanese tanks in the Pacific theater, because the Japanese tanks were not very good. Tanks weren't really needed in the jungle as in the mud and island hopping, and the Pacific was mainly a naval battle, so the Japanese never really invested much in armor. So this remained effective throughout the war in the Pacific against tanks. However, many of these rounds were made as high explosive and were also used against bunkers or anti-infantry. This particular one, I'll show you the head stamp here. See, it says 37mm. This particular one I got at Clignancourt in France when I was living there, and they had a couple of them, but this one was in nicer condition. I don't remember the exact price I got for it, but it is a relatively common round, and if you are looking for one, you shouldn't really be paying more than $30 or 30 euros for one. Of course it just depends. I mean, this one isn't it's in great condition, but nothing particularly special. It doesn't have a projectile in it, so I imagine I wouldn't have paid too much for it. Anyways, this shell is dated, let's see, 1942. So this probably, especially since I bought it in France, had a long history behind it. I had wanted one of these for a long time, and I never could find one online, strangely enough, or one that I wanted, like one with the appropriate price online, and I found one finally when I was in France. If you notice, like I said before, it's a rimmed cartridge, and it does have crimps on it. It's a little bit smaller than the 35mm that I reviewed last time. Here's a quick size comparison. The 35mm is a little bigger. I just clanked them together. So, however, it has a long neck, which means the projectile is quite large. It's got a broad shoulder on it, and it is a powerful round. I mean, considering the small, here's a 25mm that the modern day Bradley fires. And, these M3 guns were also used on the M8 Greyhound scout car and the Stuart M3 light tank, and that's World War II, and this round is quite a deal larger than our modern day infantry fighting vehicle rounds. So, yeah, this video is going to be a little bit shorter. I don't have much more to say about it. I'll post pictures at the end, and I hope you learned something. I'll see you later.